scared right now.
Oh, hello there! And welcome back to another episode of We've been RVing for 3 years and still don't know what we're doing! You already know by the title of this video what happened during our most recent boondocking adventure, but let me set the stage for you, for Shakespeare himself would be moved to tell the tale. And also I'm hoping that we can all learn from the plethora of mistakes made during this adventure. So we drove from Kingman, Arizona to Kanab, Utah in 1 day, and we mapped the route using Google Maps, and thus deduced that it was going to take us 6 hours of drive time and we would be arriving roughly around 4 p.m. What we did not remember, however, was that we would be losing an hour once we crossed the border into Utah. You're wondering how we could be so clueless, but time zones were created to confuse us. I can't keep track of border crossing hours. Do I look like I have clockwork superpowers? So anyway, we arrived in Utah at 5 p.m. Luckily, Keith had researched 2 boondocking spots beforehand, so we did have a plan. But when it comes to boondocking, you learn very quickly that arriving in the evening is risky business. So we pulled up to the first location, which was located on top of a hill with just beautiful views all around, and we spent every bit of 25 minutes looking for an open spot to park, of which there were none. But we were not discouraged, so we ventured our way 15 minutes up the road to the next location, which was next to this river, and it was so pretty down there, but there were already tons of campers at this point, and we spent 30 minutes searching for a spot down there. Goose egg. So at this point, we were slightly discouraged. But with Christopher Columbus as our witness, we would not have our adventures and travels be derailed. So in came trusty Google again, because you know, the time zone debacle hadn't taught us anything. And Keith found a boondocking spot that had no reviews, but looked promising from the Google Earth images. So we backtracked 20 minutes onto this dirt road, which was one way, and we traveled down it 2 miles to the promised land, at which point we realized we had made a terrible mistake. You see, from Google Earth's perspective, this area that we were going to go boondock in looked like it was hard dirt. And the road that we were traveling down for 2 miles was a very firm consistency, so it was within reason to assume that this field was going to be hard dirt. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the main act. This is definitely one of those moments in RV life where we're going, what the heck were we thinking? And I'll tell you what we were thinking. We were thinking it's 7 o'clock at night and we just want to find a place to park. And honestly, you can't really beat the views, but we definitely would have been happier with harder ground, because now it's 10 o'clock in the morning and we're looking at the driving situation and it's looking a little bit sketchy because this is deep sand. So I don't really know that we're gonna be able to get out of here. Now, at this point, Keith had come up with a plan, sort of.
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna back up, maybe.
We're gonna back up.
It's the only way. The going forward is a no-go.
Okay.
So we're gonna back it up.
Okay.
And we're gonna pray. Hopefully, we can just back up right here. Cause see, underneath this stuff is hard.
Yeah. These things dug in pretty far there. I just want to leave. I just want to get out of here. Please. Please. One noteworthy thing that we did correctly in this situation was utilize our walkie-talkies, because we had absolutely no cell service out here. And as Keith so eloquently put it,
We must be able to talk.
you're right. And thus began the backing up journey, which at first was smooth, steady, and uneventful, except for the big old stick.
You move that big old dick.
Yes. And this is where things took a sharp left off of a cliff. That's pretty deep. That's really deep. Trailer's not moving. So at this point, we were going nowhere, literally.
Wow.
But thankfully, Keith had been up since 2 a.m. stress planning for this exact scenario, and thus had a plan. And the plan was that we would wedge our RV Lego leveling blocks underneath the truck tires and hopefully gain some traction. But that only moved us a few inches.
I'm really fucking scared right now. I'm really scared right now.
At this point, we pulled the 2x8 boards out of the bed of the truck, and we have been traveling with these boards since the beginning of our RV journey, and they have come in handy in so many different ways, but I will get more into that later. Because at this point, the plan was to wedge those under the front tires and attempt one last time to get out of this sand.
Yeah. You got it. Nice job.
In real time, that moment felt like the scene from The Princess Bride where Wesley's hand shoots out from the sand and Buttercup's clinging to his back like a spider monkey, and they're both just gasping for air as he pulls them out. So now it was time for Plan B, aka Plan Back That Booty Up. Mind you, we had traveled roughly 2 miles down a dirt road to get here, so this was a venture we really were not excited about, but it was the only option that we had.
Yep, keep following it around. You're doing perfect. Go a little driver's side.
And for your viewing pleasure, here is ya girl running with a camera and a tripod like she's competing in a relay race. Now, I could just leave this next part out and make you believe that all of the errors made this day were completely Keith's fault and that I am without flaw, but we're friends. And I think I can be honest with you. So this next big mistake was entirely my fault.
There's this spot up ahead right there that has 2 pull-offs. We're gonna try to back into one and see if we can't straighten ourselves out here. Ready?
Oh, what's that? Did we get stuck again? What do you think?
Stuck?
Yep.
Okay. This is not worse than we were over there, though.
It was, in fact, much worse than it had been over there. But Keith somehow knew to reduce the air in the tires, which I'm assuming they teach in Boy Scouts or martial arts or something. And at this point, we just had to trust the process. So we continued to dig and wedge and dig and wedge and shifted things around and tried not to panic until finally...
Yeah. Get it. Woo! Woo! Yeah!
Great success.
I'm so scared.
And now it seemed that the only true option we had was to back down the 2-mile stretch of dirt road that we had originally traveled.
Hey, there's a road here. You want to try and turn off it, or?
Eventually, as you can tell by my presence here today, we did survive the entire backing up ordeal, and it was glorious. Looking back, there are a lot of things that we should and could have done differently. Not buying an RV, for starters.
That was the scariest thing that we've done so far.
Yes.
Where I felt like we might actually be stuck here for quite some time. No cell service, clearly miles to the road as we just had to back up.
Yep.
And road tires with no other way to get them out of the sand. So, and no shovel, which we should have a shovel. Why don't we have a shovel?
But the real takeaway here is if you do not have a pair of 2x8 boards that you travel with, you need to get some. They are great for leveling the rig if you find yourself on uneven ground, and they're really useful on sandy surfaces if you want something to just put your levelers down onto that is sturdy, and evidently they are a perfect wedge. God only knows what I'd be without you. God only knows what I'd be without you. Now, if you are gearing up to write us a lengthy novel detailing all of the things that we did wrong in this situation, proceed. Let's have a conversation and help each other. Help me help others by helping me see what I needed help with. If you enjoyed your time here, please give this video a thumbs up, as that is the absolute best way to support me and what I do here. I put out new videos on Fridays. and I will see you on the next one. This just got so weird.